Chet Holmgren spotted at secret gay party, NBA fans shocked. Exclusive footage sparks wild reactions across social media.
For sure, there's definitely gay players in the NBA, and there's probably gay players in all sports, right?
It turns out people were right, because Chet Holmgren had become that kind of player. The new footage of him at a party with other NBA players went viral and shocked the internet. People started asking, why did he keep this a secret for so long? And will this affect his NBA career? Let's talk about it. On February 24th, 2026, a post appeared on X from an account called Jake Morrison NBA. It showed a picture of Chet Holmgren in his Oklahoma City Thunder jersey with a red breaking news banner. The post claimed that Chet Holmgren had come out as gay, becoming the first active NBA player to do so. It also said he planned to wear a rainbow armband to raise awareness and hoped to inspire other players to come out. Within 24 hours, the post got over 16,000 likes, hundreds of reposts, and nearly 5 million views. It quickly spread to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. The phrase Chet Holmgren gay became one of the most searched terms online. The timing made it even bigger. The post came out just before a Thunder vs. Raptors game, when basketball fans were already active online. It was the kind of story that grabs attention fast and spread quickly on social media. The post had everything social media loves: controversy, strong emotions, and a reason for people to click and share. For those who don't follow basketball closely, Chet Holmgren isn't a random player. He was the second overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft out of Gonzaga University. He plays center and power forward for the Oklahoma City Thunder. His public image has always been simple and focused on basketball. His verified X account just says OKC Thunder in the bio. He doesn't post about his personal life or lifestyle, only about the game. So when the post went viral, it shocked people. His quiet, basketball-only image clashed with this very personal claim. Suddenly, fans who had never thought about his private life were talking about it everywhere online. The reactions were mixed, showing that people are still very divided when it comes to topics like this. Some people supported the claim and called it a big step forward for representation in sports. Others reacted very differently. Some said things like, "Nobody cares. This isn't 1985," while others commented, "Just keep that off the court." A few replies were openly disrespectful, while others questioned why personal matters needed to be shared publicly at all. There were also people trying to point out that the post might be false. They wrote comments like, "Stop spreading misinformation," and "Coming out is serious. Why fake this?" But their voices were mostly lost in the flood of strong opinions from people who had already chosen a side. With hundreds of quote posts, users started creating their own threads, which spread separately from the original post. Thousands of bookmarks showed that people were saving it to use later in debates or group chats. Within hours, the post had taken on a life of its own. It struck a deeper nerve because it touched on a long-standing conversation about sexuality in professional sports, especially in the NBA, where the topic has rarely been discussed openly. Players usually avoid it. Coaches avoid it. So when something like this appears online, it doesn't just get attention. It triggers reactions that have been building for years. The post also included a factual claim that stood out to anyone familiar with NBA history. It said Chet Holmgren would be the first active gay NBA player. But that isn't accurate. Jason Collins came out as gay in 2013 while he was still an active NBA player. So whether people believe the new post or not, that detail was clearly wrong and raised early doubts about its credibility. Still, most people didn't notice that mistake. They were too busy arguing in the comments. Meanwhile, hardly anyone asked the most important question: where did this post actually come from? To understand why it spread so fast, you also have to look at the bigger picture. This topic doesn't exist in isolation. It connects to the NBA's long and complicated history with sexuality, private lives, and locker room culture. The NBA has been around since 1946. Thousands of players have competed at the highest level. Yet in nearly 80 years, only a small number of former or current NBA players have publicly come out as gay. One of the first was John Amici, a British-American center who played 294 games between 1995 and 2003 for teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, Orlando Magic, and Utah Jazz. He came out in 2007 through his memoir, Man in the Middle, For years after retiring, Amici has spoken openly about the challenges he faced. He described dealing with suspicion from teammates, quietly visiting gay clubs while playing in more conservative cities like Salt Lake City, and the emotional toll of hiding a major part of his identity in a hypermasculine sports culture. Since then, he has become one of the most outspoken voices on this issue. While playing for the Utah Jazz, John Amici once received a New Year's Eve invitation from his teammate Andrei Kirilenko. The note said, "Please come, John. You are welcome to bring your partner if you have one, someone special to you. Who it is makes no difference to me." Amici later said that small gesture meant everything to him. In a league where exclusion often felt normal, that simple act of inclusion stood out. It's also one of the few real, documented stories involving a gay NBA player and a supportive locker room moment. Not rumors or fake footage, but a genuine show of respect between teammates that in 2025, John Amici made a powerful statement. He said his effort to normalize coming out in sports had failed miserably. But he added something even more striking. There are many gay people in the NBA, players, coaches, trainers, referees, and executives. The reason fans don't see openly gay active players, he suggested, isn't because they don't exist. It's because the environment makes visibility extremely difficult. Years earlier, in 2003, Tracy McGrady estimated that roughly 5% of NBA players might be gay. With around 450 active players at any time, basic probability suggests the chances that every single one of them is straight are extremely low, under 1%. That's not rumor. It's simple math. And that's the central paradox. Statistically, it's highly unlikely there are 0 gay players in the league. Yet there are no openly gay active players today. Even legendary coach Phil Jackson, who won 11 championships, was once asked whether the NBA needed to be more inclusive of gay athletes. His response was immediate.
It's a ridiculous question. I mean, none of us have probably ever seen it in all our careers.
He stood firm and said the whole question felt strange to him. From his point of view, it wasn't something he had ever really dealt with or seen directly. As far as he was concerned, the issue had never clearly presented itself during his time in the league.
And there's no inclusiveness to be had. So it's really a strange question to come out of it.
When reporters pushed him further, Jackson became even more straightforward. He spoke plainly about his own experience, making it clear he was only describing what he personally had, or hadn't, encountered during his time in the league.
I've never run into it in all my career. I don't know if Shaq or Kurt have ever run into it, but I've never run into it in my career.
Really?
No.
But the interviewer pushed back, pointing to what simple math suggests. In a league that has existed for decades and included thousands of players, it's extremely unlikely that none of them were gay. Statistically, that idea is almost as hard to believe as saying every single one of them was straight.
Amici's always said that, there were other gay players in the league who just didn't come out.
And then the interviewer broke it down clearly, explaining the numbers and the basic probability behind it. He pointed out that when you look at population averages and apply them to a league with hundreds of players at any given time, the math strongly suggests that at least some of them would be gay.
So we're talking about thousands of players over a few decades and nobody's gay.
The conversation ended without a clear answer. The numbers had been laid out, the logic was clear, but no one fully addressed it. The implication just hung there, leaving people to draw their own conclusions.
That would probably be as unimaginable as everybody being gay. You know what I mean?
Gilbert Arenas gave one of the most unfiltered looks at locker room culture. He explained that players didn't usually approach the topic with support. Instead, they would try to figure out who might be closeted by putting them through social tests, watching how they reacted in certain situations.
We're trying to figure out who's gay. So we'll do stupid shit like, hey man, if we wasn't NBA players, would you have anal sex with a dude for 10 million?
The goal. Arenas explained that the purpose of these tests was to watch how players reacted. If someone showed an unusually strong or angry reaction, they would often become the target of teasing or scrutiny from their teammates.
We look at each other like, well, we got one, right? And that's what we do. We got one. Now we're going to just target him to see.
According to Arenas, the reasoning was straightforward. If a player wasn't gay, there was no reason for them to overreact to a joke. That strong reaction alone marked them as a potential target.